What's good, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Hurls and Small Show. Coming to you guys after week 13 of football, man. We're almost at the playoffs. We're almost at the fantasy playoffs. I know there's only 1 week left, so good luck to you guys out there who are trying to fight your way into the playoffs. To those of you that already
Unless you're
locked your
slipped or ISO, I'm praying on your downfall.
to those of you that have already locked your playoff spots in, if you're playing somebody in week 14 that needs to get in, just rest your starters for them, rest your starters that you already have your spot locked up and let them get in. So because some people out there need that, aka Dark. I know he's listening. I know you need my brother to bench his starters next week so you can get in. So Dark, I'll try to convince them. But anyway, Smalls, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It was a good week of football. We had our family Thanksgiving on
Oh
Sunday, so I didn't get to
yeah,
watch
you
a ton of it.
did.
I didn't get to watch a ton of the 1 o'clock games. We were pretty much locked in on Steelers Bengals, but then
Mm-hmm.
4 o'clock came and Sunday Monday came, and I caught back up. So we're all good. How about you, brother?
I'm doing pretty decent. I can't complain. Another day at work as always on Mondays. This time of year is just always gonna be busy. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. If you got, I don't know. To me, it looks like I've been like my eyes are puffy and I've been crying. If anybody's wondering, it's just because I have contacts in, so I haven't been crying. I haven't, I'm all good. Just in case anybody was wondering.
At work, we've been painting the trailer black, and I was working on the bottom of it today.
Uh huh.
And like at one point, I did a brush stroke, and it just started dripping back down on me. And I thought I got a good amount of it off, but
Pause.
I got home.
Sorry.
I got home tonight, and I was getting ready to get in the shower, and I was like, "Holy shit! It looks like my neck is completely black. The whole thing was just like covered in paint. I felt like an idiot."
So you didn't, yeah, you didn't feel it while you were working.
I mean, yeah, I knew I had some on me, but I didn't know it was like it
Mm,
was everywhere, dude. And
okay.
usually it's just on my arm, so it's like not that big of a deal. But I
Okay.
got most of it off. So
I wanted to. This is kind of a random tangent before we got in. I just didn't want to forget. Do you watch like national like sports broadcasts? Like do you watch like ESPN for example? Do you watch like First Take or Undisputed when that was the thing? Are you a guy that
oh,
watches
like the
those shows?
media?
Yeah, like
No.
Stephen A. Smith and anything like that. Yeah, I don't either. But I have been finding myself like on my YouTube like recommended, it has been popping up, and I've always been a guy that hasn't enjoyed too much of Nick Wright. I don't know if you know who that is. He does the show with Chris Broussard. I forget what it's called. First things
I have no
first.
Christmas card.
First things first. And I've been watching a couple cut out couple like videos on YouTube because they just been popping up, and he's kind of decent. He's a guy that I haven't enjoyed because his takes have been wild in the past, but I kind of been enjoying him. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I may dive back into watching because I haven't like. When's the last time you say you could say you've been an avid watcher of like sports media on like TV, like ESPN? Like,
Like not counting the stuff NOTB did.
yeah, no, not counting that.
Oh
For
man,
me,
it's
I
been a
think it's
long
middle
time.
school. I think it's middle school or
It's
maybe early high
probably
school. Yeah, because
yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I just kind of just got out of it over time. But I don't know. I guess I'm kind of finding myself not getting back into it, but I just wanted to talk about first things first because it was actually pretty decent. It wasn't too
I
bad.
might be elementary, dude, because we went through a period where we were struggling financially, so we didn't have TV or internet. And
Hmm.
like once we got it back, I just never went back to it. So
Yeah, I don't think I could ever see myself sitting down and watching a full show, but like the little YouTube 7 minute, 10 minute videos.
but those type of guys are like they clickbait so hard because they have to. It's their whole
Yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah.
If I'm gonna watch media, I'm gonna watch like Nico or Spawn Hour or those
Absolutely,
type of guys.
absolutely. And Nick Wright has always been a guy that's been. I wouldn't say he's been a Brock Purdy hater, but he's been skeptical on Brock Purdy. So, but like I would say I enjoy listening to him though. But we can get back. I just wanted to ask you that before I forgot. We can get to our usual Monday segments or Tuesday segments since these come out on Tuesdays.
You're watching this episode. We're
Oh
hoping you
my
guys had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had some good food. I hope you had spent great time with family.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Go ahead, continue.
Leave a like on this episode. It helps us a lot. Helps
Mm-hmm.
us boost into the algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
We hit 60 subscribers. Shout out to your boy Weave.
Weave, yes, I was gonna say shout out to Weave. And he was telling me he was gonna unsub so we could go back to 59, but just being a dickhead. But yeah, still shout out to Weave. Shout out to Weave. Shout out to Dark for telling Weave. That's who the shout out really goes to. Shout out to Dark.
And leave a like if you're or not leave a like. I already said that. Leave a comment if you're here. To my boy Sujat, talking about Breaking Bad because I know you interested.
Ooh.
I just met Gustavo. They did the thing, and then Walter did the other thing. I don't want to spoil anything.
He'll definitely know.
But he'll know what that means.
He'll know what you mean. Yeah.
So Pinkman's all upset right now.
Shout out Jesse. But
all I gotta say.
What was I gonna? Oh yeah, you said you're not a huge Thanksgiving food guy. So what did you end up eating on Sunday for like your Thanksgiving?
I tried my mama's mac and cheese to make her happy, and that's it.
That's it.
I don't care about food, dude. I'm not a guy that eats for pleasure. I eat to survive. The fact that I was ever fat made no sense because like I don't eat that much. I would just eat because I was bored. I guess I don't know. I'm still not skinny, but you know, working on it. Working in progress.
Well, let's get into the overreactions for week 13. It gets harder and harder as the weeks go on because there's just less and less and less to overreact to. Because early in the season, it's like that we had the Saints. I could overreact to them being 2-0, scoring 40 points in each game. Oh, the Saints are going to go into the fucking Super Bowl. Now we kind of know where each team is at, so it's harder and harder to overreact. But
speaking of this segment,
yeah,
I feel so bad because like these usually do good on TikTok, right? But I be getting home from work at like 6:00, and I just be tired. I don't want to sit there and edit these, but like I got to get back on my bullshit and get these posted again and help us grow. But between the review and the preview last episode, I think I did our pick'ems, our fantasy foreman, and that might have been it. Like we did the WWE shit, but
yeah, how'd that?
I was like. We're not going to talk about how it did. So I think we combined for less than 15 views on those 3 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that platform.
All right. On to the overreactions. A guy who has, I've always rooted for. I've always had his back. You haven't been a huge fan of his. He threw 4 interceptions this past weekend. And boy, those interceptions were gross. None of them were like, you know what? I could see what happened. You got hit. They were all egregious. That one in the red zone was fucking awful, where he lofted the ball into like 5 people. Kirk Cousins should be benched, and Michael Penix should be the quarterback the rest of the way for the Falcons.
Well, this is just silly. If you're gonna say after the season they should move on or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna come with that, but I was like, fuck it. Let me just say Michael Penix should be the guy going forward.
No, because Michael Penix is a rookie. They're still trying to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league the last.
There's a couple rookie quarterbacks out there looking like they're gonna make the playoffs.
2?
Bo and Jaden. So why couldn't Michael Penix finish out the season? Get the Falcons into
because his first start is going to be in week 14 and not in week 1.
Okay, so what if I said Michael Penix should be their guy coming into next season?
That's a way better take, and I wouldn't disagree with you at all because I love Michael Penix, and if you draft him at 8 overall, mm-hmm. He's already 24. You're gonna wait until he's 29 to give him his first start? Mm-hmm. The draft pick never made sense when you signed Kirk Cousins to that contract.
It did. All right, moving on. Your boy, you go to war for this guy. You damn near got yourself a jersey. Bryce Young has been looking very good. The Panthers have been looking very confident. I see the smirk.
It's funny because you said your boy, and I didn't even know what direction you were going in.
Wow, but this is your guy. Bryce Young
he is.
will have the best career of any quarterback drafted in 2023.
Say it again.
Bryce Young will have the best career of any quarterback drafted in the 2023 class.
Can you tell me who was drafted one after him?
CJ Stroud.
Now, can you say your statement again?
Bryce Young will have the best career of any quarterback drafted in the 2023 quarterback class.
Now, just one more time. Who was drafted after him?
CJ Stroud.
Statement.
I didn't know. I didn't know how you felt. I know Bryce is your guy, but I also know CJ's in Ohio. So does that trump the love you have for Bryce?
Yes. Bryce is a newfound love. CJ been my guy. And I have a tweet out there that said that Bryce Young should be the number 1 pick. Before the draft happened, I said that Bryce Young was the better player than CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's not looking too crazy. Last year, I looked like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this season, I looked like an idiot. But CJ's just been so bad this year, man. And I think it's a lot to do with his line. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he's struggling with something else because the way he's been playing is just not the way he played last year. Yeah, maybe defenses figured him out. Who knows, man? All right. But I would say CJ has the better career.
All right. We did our mid-season awards or whatever. I don't think either of us had. We might have had this guy in the top 3. But I definitely know we didn't have him as our winner. When he made a decision earlier on in the season to make his quarterback change, we got on his ass. And now that quarterback change looked like it's made them into something that they weren't. So Mike Tomlin should be the coach of the year.
Oh, coach of the year. Yeah, I had him top 3.
Yeah, that's why
I might have had him as my winner.
Really? I didn't think you did.
Maybe I had him second.
I thought you had I figured you had Dan Campbell. That's why I said top 3 because I know I didn't have him. I had Matt LaFleur and
I had Mike Tomlin at 3.
Okay.
I had Dan Campbell and Dan Quinn. I had Dan Quinn at number 1.
Okay, yeah, it was Dan Quinn. Okay. But yeah, Mike Tomlin for coach of the year.
I would still lean one of the Dans. But
Quinn
Mike Tomlin deserves a ton of love.
Absolutely.
And Dan Quinn, they haven't been great the last couple of weeks, but he's still done so much for that team in just 1 year.
All right. Last one. Your Ravens. If they want to contend, they have to go find a new kicker. A new kicker. Justin Tucker leads the league in missed kicks with 10, the most he's ever had in his career. So if they want to be real contenders this season, they have to go find a new kicker.
I saw a video of the fans booing him. And the guy quote tweeted it and was like, Justin Tucker could purposefully sell every game for the rest of the season, and he would still have more games won than games lost for the Baltimore Ravens. And it's completely true. As long as Justin Tucker wants to be a Baltimore Raven, especially just this season, he will be. He just did so much for them, man. He's one of the greatest kickers of all time, if not the greatest kicker ever.
I think he's the best kicker of all time. I think he is, yeah.
But his leash is unbelievably long, and he's been god-awful this year. But
yeah, it's bad. Hitting an extra point off the upright, missing 2 field goals. It's definitely bad. I just hope that doesn't come back to bite them in the ass, or you're about to beat a team like the Chiefs or the Bills, and you're going down to kick a field goal, and you think it's automatic for Justin Tucker, because that's what it's been in the past, and he just goes down and misses it. I would hate for the Ravens season to end like that. But yeah, that's all I got for
Austin Seibert missed PAT to choke that Commanders comeback is one of the worst misses I've seen all year.
No, definitely.
And if Justin Tucker pulls something like that, I would be devastated.
Like, just for the way they scored the touchdown right before that, for them to pan to the sideline, everyone's going crazy. Dan Quinn is screaming, "We're going 1-1-1," and then for him to go up there and miss it, man. But yeah, that's all I got for overreactions this week. I know you want to, as usual, we do our reviews of the pick'ems and the 4-man fantasy, so go ahead.
No, how did he win? No, I can't make it now.
No, you lost in fantasy in the NLG?
Differently.
We can go into fantasy before we even get to the.
Let's go into fantasy.
Okay.
So I played Kyron.
Yeah.
I played Kyron.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyron is 7-5.
Yeah.
And I texted you going into Sunday Night Football. I needed George Kittle, CMC, and
not that you just needed them. That you needed them to do that. You said I'm hating on these players tonight because I need them to be bad. But continue.
Ain't nothing wrong with a hate watch once in a while. It's got to be done.
Okay.
But Darnold gave me 20. Jonathan Taylor gave me 17. Saquon gave me 20. Malik Neighbors had 11. DJ Moore had 20. Pat Fryermuth had 16. Aaron Jones cucked me a little bit. He had 8, but like that's a
sounds like
very
a
good.
decent week. Yeah, sounds like a
I
pretty
had
good week.
112 points, and I was still stressing. I would have been like, I think I would have been third in the
Wait,
league if I would have lost.
JT and Saquon are your running back. That's great because that's my exact running back duo in the other league we're in.
I know. I traded for Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
I gave up Tyrone Tracy and.
And didn't you trade Tyrone Tracy in our league as well?
I gave up Romeo Doubs, Jordan Mason, and Tyrone Tracy for Jonathan Taylor.
Very good trade. Very, very good trade, I would say.
Very good trade. But yeah, I'm 6-7 now, and it was me and D Millie for the last playoff spot. We were both 5-7. I got a win and he got a loss.
Yeah, because you said because CMC got hurt and George Kittle had like one catch for like 7 yards, so they didn't do much of anything. Cortland Sutton was pretty decent on Monday Night Football, but that wasn't enough for Karen to beat you, huh?
And I'm gonna no,
okay,
but I beat him by 14. I'm gonna be up like 100 points on D Millie with a win over him.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I don't put up 25 points next week, I should be in the playoffs.
Do you guys have the same record?
No, I'll be 6-7. He'll be 5-8.
Going into
so if I lose.
Okay, so yeah, all you gotta do is just not let him score 100 more points than you this weekend. You're in.
Exactly. Okay.
You're good. This was an amazing week of fantasy football for me. In one of my money leagues, I came in where I benched Jonathan Taylor this week because it was like, all right, bro, you know, you've been selling me these past couple of weeks. You're going to my bench. I have Chase Brown, Bucky Irvin. I have a bunch of different options, so I put them in. They did phenomenal, but I also had Breece Hall in. And Breece Hall had 6 points, and that could have been Jonathan Taylor, and that it was an 11-point difference. I was down by 10 going into Monday Night Football, so me just putting in Jonathan Taylor would have gave me the win. I wouldn't have to stress over Monday Night Football. I need David Njoku to give me 10 points, and boy, he comes in right away and gives me a touchdown. I'm watching that work. I told Dark I damn near started breakdancing in aisle 7, man. Oh my goodness, I was so hyped. Because that win guarantees me a spot in the playoffs. So now I know I'm in.
Break dancing, bro. You a fool.
So now I know I'm in. So next week I'm really only playing for, because I can be anywhere from 3 to 6. Top 6 make the playoffs. Top 2 have the bye. I can't get the bye because I'm going to be 1 game back no matter what happens. So yeah, I'm just really just playing for my seeding here. Next week I win and I'm the 3rd seed. And then in our league, I just smacked Suj. I had a bye week really. He actually put up over 100 points. But I put up like 160 or 170.
You led the league.
Again, I led the league last week in points as well. So yeah, it was just a really good week of fantasy for me. And then in a league that's not for money, I played my brother, and I beat him there, and that gave me the 1st seed in the league. So it was an amazing week of fantasy football for me. An amazing.
You
week.
Didn't lead the league.
I didn't.
Beat you. No, wow. He beat you by 1.
Did he have someone on Monday Night Football that just went off?
He had David Njoku.
Oh shit! Okay. Well, I'll take second. But yeah, it was an amazing week of fantasy football for me. This is back-to-back weeks where I went 3-0 in fantasy.
I went 7-1 this week.
That's see how I just said I went 3-0. You talking about I went 7-1? Like holy shit, 8 leagues is insane, man. And what would you say? 7 of them are for money? No comment, huh? Like that is insane, man. That is insane. But yeah, man. Sounds like we both had pretty good weeks of fantasy, so hopefully we can do that going into next week and into the playoffs. You know, I'm hoping to see you in the Super Bowl in the CT League, man.
It's looking like we might have to play early in those playoffs, though.
Really? So like if I win the first week, you'll be my first. Like I'll be your first matchup. Is what you're saying?
I think you might.
Because what am I now? What am I? What if I win this week? What would I be? I think I would be the 4 seed, no?
It's you and Red God tied. You, Red God, and Chip. You won.
I know I'll be above Chip.
All 3 of y'all won. So
it's just gonna stay the same way it is going into the final week.
Yeah. Wait, why is he? Yeah, it'll be the same.
Yeah, because Red God's above me because his points. How many points did he put up this week?
156, so 19 less than you.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna pass him or anything. Yeah, Chip is 100 behind me, so he's not gonna pass me. So fuck around, just be like this. Yeah, I'll be the 5 seed. And then let me check the playoffs. Dang, we're gonna have to play each other. Yeah, you'll be playing the winner of me and Red God. Well, man, I wanted to see you in the Super Bowl. I guess if I gotta beat you in the second round, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But
The only person I'm worried about is ISO. Because he got Jamar and Jettis.
And Jettis, and he has someone else.
And Marvin Harrison.
That's who
Bijan.
It is. That's who it is, yeah.
Bro, his team is just nasty. He finessed
Bijan
the fucking
and Tyrone Tracy, DJ Moore,
Jalen Hurts.
Hey, but don't say that's the only person you're worried about, man. My team is on a hot streak.
That's the only person I'm worried about.
We've been putting up points. We've been putting up points these past few weeks, man. Don't sleep on us. Do not sleep on us, man. Saquon Barkley can bet. Saquon Barkley can win me a week any given week. Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown, Bucky Irvin has been phenomenal. Cortland Sutton has been doing his thing. Mike Evans is Mike Evans. He's gonna go get that 1K you was talking about last week. He's gonna go get it. So watch out for us, man. Don't sleep is all I'm gonna say. Don't sleep.
All right, let's move on. Before we get into our reviews, let's talk about the Bears real quick.
Oh, yep.
Thoughts? For the first time in their 100+ year history, they fired their coach in season.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
Surprising, yeah. That's super surprising when I heard that, yeah. But I definitely think that was just the nail.
And we talked about it.
Yeah, that was just the nail in the coffin. You just had to, because maybe he could have made it through the season if something like that didn't happen. But for you on Thanksgiving Day to just shit your pants like that, and I get it. Caleb could have called the timeout. Caleb is not, walking away clean in all of this. He definitely could have called a timeout as well. But to see your rookie quarterback just waiting there, just not snapping the ball when time is running out, you have a timeout. I think it's 30 seconds left, and you let the clock drain to where you can only have one play. That's just inexcusable. So he definitely deserved to be fired over that, because his leash was already so short. Like I said, he probably could have made it through the season, but after that, he deserved to go right there. Not even allowed on the fucking team plane or bus or wherever. Didn't matter.
Did you see him and Jalen Johnson blew up on each other?
I saw the report. That they went off on him in the locker room. Yeah.
It said Jalen Johnson erupted on him after the loss, and it was like a 10-15 minute screaming fest with colorful language.
Yeah, his ass. He does, because that was some jackass shit to not call a timeout and just watch the time go out when 30 seconds left. You can get a big win. Your rookie quarterback, and you just let him look like an idiot there and not.
It was just inevitable.
Yeah. What'd you say?
As soon as Keenan Allen said that the players did enough to get the win, it was like, he's gone.
He had lost the locker room. Yeah.
And then Jaquan Brisker comes out and says, "God don't make mistakes." He lost the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin Warren said that Ryan Poles' job is safe, though. He said that the two of them are going to work together to find their.
I think his job should be. I think his job should be safe. He has definitely added a lot of talent to this team. I think you give Caleb a couple more years to see what he can look like with this roster, and I definitely think his job should be safe.
He said that him and Ryan Poles are going to work hand in hand to revamp not just their head coach, but the entire staff at this point, because they're not doing this shit no more, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I personally believe that Thomas Brown keeps his job. I think that the rest of the season he will show that he is intelligent. But if they don't like what they see from him, I think Cliff Kingsbury is probably the top dog right now, because he's looked pretty good in Washington. Plus, he already has ties with Caleb, so they'll probably try to get Ben Johnson. I don't think he goes there. If Ben Johnson leaves, I think he goes to Cincinnati.
I know. I like that a lot. The Buccaneers offensive coordinator, I forget his name. I think it's Liam Cohen. Could also be a candidate. But yeah. I don't mind Brown staying there, but I think whatever they do, they just got to find, because it's always good to have. I know the quarterback coach is one thing, but the coach GM is also another thing. Like the Niners did it with John Lynch and Shanahan. It's always nice to have a GM and coach that are kind of in cahoots with each other, that can work together and put a team around each other that they both envision. But yeah.
Yep. And then before we get to the reviews, the Giants, Dexter Lawrence and Theo Johnson both got put on IR. They're out for the season. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if you saw the Kayvon Thibodeau quote, but he said that the NFL locker room should operate as a meritocracy. And the fact that he's got that word in his vocab is phenomenal. I had never heard of the word.
Yeah, please.
But it basically means if you make plays on the field, you should have a voice. If you're not making plays, then shut your ass up.
Fair.
So I don't know why he's talking.
All right.
But shout out to Dexter Lawrence. He's been so good, and for him to have to miss the rest of the season, he was probably DPOY, and missing those last 5 games is gonna take it away from him.
Absolutely.
And I think Micah Parsons even came out and said he was DPOY.
Yeah, he was my DPOY when we did the mid-season awards, but yeah, definitely won't be the case now that he's gonna miss the rest of the season.
We can get into the bulk though.
No,
I don't care about them this week. If you're curious, then be a real one and go back and watch them.
Wow! All right. That just tells you Herlen's won, guys. But
you mean the pick'ems and fantasy?
What did you think I meant?
I thought you were saying the bowl predictions.
Oh no!
So our pick'ems, Herlen's was up 112 to 108. We were tied 4-4-4, 4 wins, 4 losses, 4 draws. I got 11 correct this week, and he got 14. So he beat me by 3. He goes up 5-4-4. He's now up 7 on me.
Boy, I should have put in a fucking money line parlay because me picking Jacksonville was just on some bullshit because the Texans were just ass. And then I only picked the Giants because you wanted me to pick them because you wanted us to be different on Thanksgiving. That's the only reason why I took them. But whatever.
Well, that's your own damn fault, and I won't be participating because I no longer have those apps.
I love to hear that. And how did the Fantasy 4-man go?
Fantasy 4-man, I was adding up the scores right before we started. Just looking at the rosters, I thought I lost, but overtime for Mike Evans, I think it pulled it out for me because Pat Mahomes had 16-6, Sam Darnold had 19-6, so I'm down 3. Derrick Henry had 14-1. Brian Robinson had 17-9, so I'm down 6 at that point.
That's it. I felt like he had a much better game than just 17. But go ahead, continue.
Mike Evans had 26.
Yeah,
and Garrett Wilson had 9.
Yeah, man.
And that was the difference.
Because Dalton Schultz miss him and then throw a fucking pick 6. Or fuck you, Aaron Rodgers.
Dalton Schultz had 17 and Trey McBride had 21. So final score was 73.64 to 68.2.
Nowhere near as good as the week we put up last week. Last week
I go up on you 8-3.
So is that it for me?
Yep.
But no, we said we're doing total points. We're adding up all the points from each week.
You can go back and tally those up then, because
Okay, so if I go back and tally them up, we'll count it. Say if I come out with a win, we'll say I gave.
You won 3 weeks. You're not gonna beat.
But what if it's when I won, I beat you by 30, but you won, you're fucking eking them out by 2 points. You know what I mean?
It's 8-3.
All right, man. Starting off with Black Friday football, the Raiders lose to the Chiefs on some bullshit.
Bro. Who decided to start the football game at 3 p.m.?
3 at 3. I fucking forgot. I got to work because I work at 3 on Fridays. So I got to work, and one of my coworkers was like, "Isn't there a football game today?" And I was like, "Holy shit!" And it was 5:30. So I missed most of the game because I don't know who the fuck decided to put it at 3. If you're gonna have one game, why is it at 3? It doesn't make any sense.
I was pissed off, dude, because Ohio State men's basketball played, Ohio State women's basketball played. This NFL game was on, and it was all before I got off work at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
The men went into overtime, and the game still was over by the time I got home.
Speaking of Ohio State, so it wasn't a good.
Why would you bring that up?
I seen a lot of stuff about don't tell me the coach's name. Ryan Day. I heard a lot.
Get him the fuck out of Ohio.
I was gonna ask a lot of people. I heard a lot of people talking about him, but okay, continue.
Mike Vrabel, welcome to the Buckeyes.
Right.
You're our new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Will Howard. I'm not gonna say anything mean because you were pretty good, but I never wanted you. So see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Egbuka, I love you with my entire heart.
That's you guys' receiver, right? Is like Egg?
Emeka Egbuka.
Okay.
The day he gets drafted, I will be ordering his jersey, no matter what team he goes to. Even if I have 35 other jerseys for the same team, I will be ordering it because he's one of my favorite Buckeyes ever.
Can you get a
Quinshon
Niners jersey
Judkins,
one of these days? Like, why don't you?
and Travion, y'all both been great. I'm sorry that your season's ending like this. Jack Sawyer, our defensive end, gets an interception to give us a chance to win this game, and we just pissed down our leg. We run the ball up the middle 100 times when our run game hasn't worked all season. I think me and you could have gone out there and coached a better game than what Chip Kelly and Ryan Day did. And
my
you're laughing.
goodness,
I'm not joking.
Chip Kelly, fuck man, he was with us for one.
Get him the fuck out of there too.
I hated it. But yeah, I just want to
revamp everything. Brian Hartline, absolute genius, one of the greatest ever. He's the reason we get all of these receivers. Mike Vrabel, please. I will get down on my knees and beg if I have to. People are speculating we get Urban Meyer back.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
we don't want Urban Meyer back. He's one of our greatest coaches ever. It's him and other homie from when we were young. Urban Meyer in Jacksonville just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I don't think I want him back. I want Vrabel so bad, dude. And we got a dude named Tavian St. Clair. He's a 5-star quarterback, and he's homies with Cardinal Tate. Cardinal Tate's a big reason why he's coming. And Julian saying, Aaron Noland, y'all better show out because he's gonna come and he's gonna play. So.
All right, I don't.
But back to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ohio State women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Madison Green. And shout out Asia Petty. She AJ Petty. She got Big Ten player of the week. Hell yeah. But anyways, back to football. 3 p.m. game is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
Brock Bowers has been probably the best tight end in football this year.
Yeah.
He's got 119 receptions for 1,252 yards.
Leads all players, by the way, not just tight ends. Leads all players.
For yards?
No, I think just receptions. I'm not sure about yards. I think he was like third or something. I'm not sure what Jamar Chase is at now, but I know receptions he was first. Sorry.
Trey McBride is at 112 receptions, so 7 less with 1,205 yards. So 47 less receptions with 47 less yards. They're this generation's top dogs. It's Sam Laporta is still up there, and Dalton Kincaid's up there, but these two is Travis Kelce versus Travis Kelce. They're a class of their own. And this will make you happy. I don't know if we see another George Kittle for a long time. The dual threat ability that he has, between being one of the best blockers in football and just having insane receiving ability at the same time, because we see guys like these two and Sam Laporta and a bunch of other guys coming in and being great receivers, which is different from what we saw before. But they're not blocking like George.
Yeah, for most tight ends, either you're one or you're a great blocking tight end. You're a great vertical threat. You're a good red zone target. But George Kittle, man, I've been saying it for a while. Like, he's been a gold jacket guy for a while because he can do literally everything. If you want George Kittle, when he was younger, if you wanted to beat someone over the top, you'd go to George Kittle. You need a big red zone target.
All time?
I don't know if he's there yet. Because I just don't think he's had the longevity of others. He's missed some games every now and then. And also, George Kittle has done this with subpar quarterback play for 90% of his career. He's done it with backup quarterbacks like Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard. His best quarterback before he got to Brock Purdy was probably Jimmy G. He's done it with quarterbacks like that. And I've always said if he was in any other offense, he would be.
Is Jimmy G in the league right now?
He's a backup for the Rams. I think he's like their second or third stringer. But I've always said if he was in an offense that wasn't super run heavy, that aired it out a lot more, George Kittle would be breaking records. And he did that with us. He already broke single season tight end records. He had 210 yards and a half. So I've always said if he was in any other offense, he'd be out there breaking records. You would never see games like this, like he had this past Sunday, where it's a 1 reception for 7 yards, where he only has 6 targets. He would be putting up numbers similar to Travis Kelce year in and year out. So shout out to George Kittle, man. Yeah.
Back to this game. Daniel Carlson had been 14 for 14 in his last 5 games.
Yep.
He comes into Kansas City, or against Kansas City. I don't remember where this game was. And he goes 1 for 4 on field goals. And yeah, some of them were deep, but he had been 5 for 6 on 50-yard field goals this year. It was just an absolute shit show from him. He's debatably the biggest reason they lost today. Friday.
Yeah.
And Aiden O'Connell played his ass off. He deserved this win. And then the fact that he was the one that fumbled at the end and lost them this game while they were already in the red zone and you could have just kicked the field. Maybe not red zone, but they were in field goal range. They just needed to chew the clock and kick it to win it. But they fumble. And on second down, I look at my mother and I tell her, I guarantee you he doesn't make this field goal. Third down comes, fumble happens, and I look at her again and I said, he's not making a field goal because it's just. Like, and you text me and said something has to be going on because
there has to be something. It's too many times at this point. It's too, like, earlier in the season or whenever, even after the Broncos, when it's like, dang man, the Chiefs again, but it's like, hey, good play. But it's gotten to a point where it's like, holy shit, like Roger Goodell, like I've never want to say they're cheating or something because I've always said if it's not the Niners, I want Patrick Mahomes to go win as many as you can, go make that GOAT case as quick as you can, but not like this, not like what is going on? You just said he was 14 for 14 in his last 5 games, and what was he, 1 for 4 on Friday? 1 for 4, and Dale Carlson has been a great kicker for the past like 3 years. He's always been phenomenal. And he just has the worst game of his life this past Friday. And then the ball gets snapped too early and he's not ready for it. Oh my goodness, man. It's like there's just no way. And I want to say like last year, it's like no way the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl when they look like this. This is what everybody was saying last year. No way this team wins it. Yeah, they're winning games, but no way. And now they're 11-1. And I still feel the same way. They just swept the division, not the division, sorry. I think they got 1 more or 2 more in the division. But it's like, no way you're going to beat Buffalo, who's already beaten you. No way you're going to beat them like this in the playoffs. No way you're going to beat the Ravens like this in the playoffs. Hell, no way you'll beat the fucking Steelers or Chargers like this in the playoffs. But they might. Or who says they don't flip the switch and they turn into the Chiefs and just start blowing everybody out? It's like, I want to say they can't do it, but I bet against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes one too many times to where I don't think I can look like the idiot again and do it and bet against them. So I'm not going to say they can't win like this because they keep doing it, but something has to be going on over there. And I don't know what it is.
And Patrick Mahomes is already one of the greatest of all time.
I think he's the second best quarterback of all time.
I don't know if I would go that far yet, but he's definitely, I think it's unquestionably top 5.
Yeah, I think he's the most talented quarterback, but when it comes to GOAT, I think there's only one above him, and that's Tom Brady. Yeah, when it comes to the GOAT debate, I think it's only Tom above him.
Everybody says that like Pat Mahomes keeps pulling stuff off, which rightfully so, but I think so many of these wins are just Andy Reid deserves more credit because he is a mastermind, dude. He's brilliant, and the Chiefs get this win with 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown. Pitiful. Absolutely shoving in.
One game it'll be their offense that pulls through for them. One game it'll be their defense that pulls through for them. The next game it's their special teams blocking a kick. It's every week it's something different with this team in it. If they can put it all together, boy, they're three-peating. If they can get it all right, they're three-peating.
Because they have so many flaws, but at the same time, you look at their team when they're in the game, and it's like, what is their flaw?
man, we can move on.
I'm cool with Juju getting another one though.
We can move on to the Texans beating the Jaguars 23-20. The Jags tried to make it interesting late, but it was too little, too late. Before we get into it, I want to say prayers up to Trevor Lawrence. Sorry you had to watch that, Stooge. And they showed that replay way too many fucking times, by the way. They showed it everywhere. So many times on that broadcast. It's like, damn, we get it. He got hit. And I don't know if you were watching, but it reminded me of that, like, I forget what year it was, but Joe Flacco got killed by Kiko Alonso. It might have been like a Thursday night game or something. I just remember it was a night game. And he got killed. It reminded me just like that. People were debating whether Joe Flacco went down too late and if Kiko Alonso was dirty for it or not. And it looked literally just like that play. So prayers up to Trevor Lawrence. He said he was all good. And to Azeez Al-Shire, he was a former Niner. I talked about it with Suze the other day. Like, he was literally with us in the play. Like, he wasn't on our team. He was with the Titans, I think, last season. But he was still in our huddle last season when we were in the playoffs. He came to our game, was in the huddle with the linebacker. So the guys love him over there. And he never did anything dirty like that when he was with us. So I don't want to say he's a dirty player. But it was...
I don't think he is.
Not a great play. Not a great play to watch. So, but prayers up to Trevor Lawrence, and Azeez should probably miss a few games. Should probably get suspended a game or two.
And I'm so happy that whatever Trevor has is all Trevor has, because he could have broken so much, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
He got rocked. He could have broken his neck. He could have broken his collarbone, as anything. But
And for him
if
just to come back, he just got back, and then that happens to him. It sucks.
but the only reason I can somewhat discredit Aziz Al-Shaair is because the same week Pat Mahomes has a play where like he pretends like he's about to slide.
Pat Mahomes is on some
whole
whole shit. Pat Mahomes is gonna get killed one of these days, and because he's Patrick Mahomes, the world is gonna light on fire. But Patrick Mahomes does that shit way too much. He'll fake the slide, slow down like he's about to go down, then juke back inside so the defender just has no chance. It's like, what do? I'm not allowed to hit him if he's going down, but now he's faking it. So what am I supposed to do? Josh Allen does it a lot too. Which is like, it should be some type of penalty, because as a defensive player, what are you supposed to do?
Can't do anything.
Exactly. What are you supposed to do? So it definitely should be something. Something.
But on the talk of this game, I can say that Mac Jones ended up playing very solid.
Half decent, yeah.
Nico Collins is one of the best in the world. And CJ Stroud, unfortunately, has just not been the CJ Stroud that we want this season. He's still playing okay. He's still top 20, but
yeah,
he's not pushing top 5 like I wanted him to be.
Yeah, I didn't have much to say, but as far as this is the first time the Texans offense has scored 2 touchdowns in the second half since week 6.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been bad. I've talked about their offense all season, that they haven't been able to do much of anything. I even took the Jags in this game, and who knows, maybe if Trevor plays, the Jags win this game. But for a team that everybody anointed and said the Texans could be right up there contending with the top of the AFC, man, it's really disappointing to see, because I want to blame the offensive line, but CJ himself just hasn't looked very good either. He's just missing throws that he just didn't miss last season. But yeah, man, shout out to Parker Washington having himself a good game. BTJ did his thing, but we can move on, man. Do you think the Colts can catch the Texans or no? Because the Colts win again.
No.
You think the Colts can catch them? No? All right.
I think the Colts' only chance is catching the Broncos.
Okay.
But I don't think they do that either.
Shit. Not the way the Broncos are looking.
Speaking of the Colts.
Yep. Go ahead.
Colts go into New England, play the Patriots, and they squeak out a win 25-24.
Squeak out a win, yeah. They on fourth down, the commentator was preaching it. He said it so many times. If I'm the coach of the Colts, we're running it here with AR 3 times and we're punching it in. It's second down. If I'm the coach of the Colts, we're running it 2 times with AR and we're punching it in. It's fourth down. If I'm the coach of the Colts, we're running it with AR and we're punching it in. And finally they did it and he got in. So shout out to the Colts for listening, I guess, and getting AR in and going for 2, having the balls to go for 2 and winning the game.
And I know that people that are just stat watchers or box score watchers have to hate Anthony Richardson, because week after week.
Thank you. Yeah,
his stats don't look good, but he makes winning plays.
I promise you. I watched this game and I was like, yo, Anthony Richardson just played himself a decent ass game. Then I looked at the box score and it said 12 for 24, 109, and I was like, no fucking way. I was like, no way. Those are what his stats look like. So if you didn't watch this game, you would have thought Anthony Richardson was piss poor, but I promise you he was not. This is like the second week in the second time in the last 3 weeks he puts together a game-winning drive. So maybe he hasn't shown that he can lead the 15-play drive, but when it's come down to when he needed to be clutch, he's shown. I think it was against the Jets. He had a game-winning drive, and now against the Patriots, he has a game-winning drive. So he showed that he can be clutch when it matters the most. But yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because I was thinking the same thing. No way he just went 12 for 24. It felt like he played a pretty decent game.
And the Patriots made me so happy, dude, because all the time it's like, just kick the field goal. Yeah, it's a 65-yard field goal, but you're not getting a Hail Mary, so give your kicker a chance. And the Patriots come out there and they say, screw it. We're gonna kick this 68-yard field goal to try to win the game. Yeah. And he was right on target, dude. If he had a little bit more, he could have drilled it. But I just think that's fun, because very, very rarely do you see the Hail Marys hit, and kickers these days are getting a whole lot better. And you see on kickoffs, they're booting the ball through the upright. Mm-hmm. So I like the idea of giving them the chance. And Patriots, congrats to y'all for putting up a fight.
Yeah. The Colts stay alive. Yeah, we can move on. To the Chargers beating the Atlanta Falcons 17-13. These are both my guys, so I'll start with this game. I said in our preview of this game, the Chargers are gonna dominate the trenches. They're gonna kill the Falcons in the trenches. And boy, was I fucking wrong. I was so wrong. The Falcons, who have had 10 sacks, I think, in the entirety of this season, sacked Justin Herbert 5 times, and the Chargers offensive line got killed in the trenches. The Falcons have notoriously been a bad pass rush for years now, and to kill an offensive line that we thought was pretty decent with the Chargers, who have 2 stud tackles, the interior offensive line has been a little bit of a question mark. For them to get 5 sacks on Justin Herbert on Sunday was definitely not good to see. And their run game, I thought it would still be a little bit decent because you're playing the Falcons, who are not going to be pretty good, are not going to be very good at stopping it. Was awful. Who was it? Got 1 carry and I think he fumbled. Hassan Haskins.
Oh, yep.
Got 1 carry and he fumbled it. And he fumbled it. Gus Edwards was not very good. They just didn't have a great run game over. I think they only had like 54 rushing yards or something like that. But the really big talking point of this game is Kirk Cousins. We talked about it earlier. His interceptions were awful, and he's going back to what he looked like in week 1. In week 1, we said, man, Kirk Cousins can't move. He can't make those throws he was making. He can't get out of the pocket and do anything outside the pocket. And then as weeks gone on, he got more and more comfortable. He looked like he got his arm velocity back. He was powering throws into windows. And on Sunday, that last interception was just it might have been the third one. He tried to put everything he had into it. You could see they had a screenshot of his face, and it just wasn't enough, and it just got cut off and picked. And I think he took it. I want to say it got taken to the crib. I'm not sure. I think it was that one. No, I don't think it got taken to the crib. It might no, it was because it was the.
Was it on the right sideline?
Yes.
If he threw a pick 6 to Tarheeb still.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think it was that one. Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah. They have a screenshot of his face. He's wincing like he put everything into it, and it just wasn't enough. It still got undercut and taken. And then the one in the red zone we talked about earlier. I don't know what the fuck he saw. Like I literally don't know what he saw. And in the screenshot, he could have ran for. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins would have scrambled for 15 to the crib. He could have got 3, 4 and slid. But he just literally lofts it into the end zone with 5 defenders there, and it gets picked off. It was awful.
I saw someone on Twitter say it looked like he was throwing paper airplanes out there, and it made me laugh because if you go back and watch his throws, he's literally just throwing it like it's paper airplanes.
There was nothing on the throws. No strength, no power, nothing behind them. No zip on those balls. They were just floating.
And at that point, it's like at least he's making good decisions. No,
exactly.
He's not doing that either.
Yeah. You just
go
ahead.
No, go ahead.
And you I forgot what I was gonna say. Is at least if he was making those good decisions and he didn't have that zip, you'd live with it. You'd say, all right, maybe he's not the most talented. He can't make those tight window throws. But if he's gonna throw it to a guy that are open, exactly. Find the soft spot in the zone, you can live with it. But if he can't do that, I don't know how I like the Falcons for the rest of the season. And now the Bucks have tied them in their record, so all the Bucks have to do is win one more game than the Falcons do the rest of the way, and the Bucks are in.
Hell yeah. On the other side of the football, Lad McConkey is just the big-time alpha in this offense.
Number 1 receiver, bro. Holy shit, he's good.
He was the only player on this roster with more than 15 receiving yards. and he had like 120. And the Chargers offense just didn't need to do a damn thing in this game because Kirk lost them the game. Bijan was amazing, but I think Justin Herbert finished for like 150 yards, something like that.
147, no touchdowns. Yeah.
No rushing touchdowns. They didn't need them. They didn't need the offense at all. They had a pick 6, and then they kicked 3 field goals, and that was the game.
I will say I am worried for the Chargers offense if they couldn't run the ball against the Falcons, because you got a tough schedule coming up where you got the Chiefs, you got the Bucks, you got the Broncos to close out your next 3 games. Then you close out kind of easy with the Patriots and Raiders, but those next 3 games are going to be tough. Depending on what the Colts look like to close out the season, they could be on their ass. So if you can get maybe 1 out of those next 2, then win at the Patriots and Raiders, you should be in. That'll put you at 11 wins. You should be good enough to get in. But man, You got a tough one coming up. Justin Herbert's gonna have to be special these next 3 weeks, which he definitely can be.
I think they end up losing these next 3, winning the last 2, finishing 10-7, and I think that the Colts end up 9-8. So
Yeah.
they just barely beat out the Colts.
Okay.
Because the Colts have the Broncos next week or the 15th, so they got to bye this week, and then they have the Broncos. And I don't know if the Colts can beat the Broncos. If the Colts do beat the Broncos, though, it's scary for the Chargers because after that they got the Titans, Giants, Jags.
Yeah, it gets scary for the Chargers. Yeah, that run game did not look good at all. So Justin Herbert's gonna have to be special. And as far as the Falcons, you got Vikings, you got Kirk Cousins, both of his revenge games. You got the Vikings and Commanders. You got the Raiders, Giants, and Panthers. So 2 games you probably lose there, but 3 games you probably win.
Around can beat them too.
Could beat them, yeah. 3 games you should win, I will say. Should win, and 2 you're probably gonna lose. So 3-2, I don't know if that's good enough to beat out the Bucks, to be honest, because the Bucks go 4-1 in this last stretch. They got Raiders, Chargers. If the Falcons don't go 4-1, 5-0, the Bucks win this division. I think you got Raiders, Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. If the Bucks beat the Chargers, they probably go 5-0 to end the season.
Yeah.
So Falcons need to be on their game. You could probably afford 1 loss if you're the Falcons, because if you're tied with the Bucks, you get in because you already beat them twice. So yeah, but we can move on to the Seahawks and Jets. The Seahawks beat the Jets 26-21. The Seahawks improved to 7-5. The Jets fall to 3-9. The Seahawks still hold the lead in the NFC West. Go ahead.
I hate watching the New York Jets.
It's so much, bro.
The Seahawks continue to put pressure on the NFC West. The Cardinals lose this week, which sucks for them. The Niners lose. They're pretty much out of it.
Yeah, Seahawks are now 2 games ahead of us. We split.
And then the Rams win this week, so they're 6-6, and the Cardinals are 6-6. The Seahawks got a game above both of them. Garrett Wilson is one of the best separators in the whole NFL.
Such a great route runner. Yeah.
I'm sure you saw the play where he absolutely cooked dude in the red zone. He was wide open, just standing there.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers misses him.
And then the next play throws a pick 6.
He's terrible.
It's awful. It's awful.
That pick 6 came immediately after the 99-yard kickoff return, so it just gave the whole momentum back to the Seahawks. And I think that pick 6 lost them the game. I mean, it wasn't immediately that they lost, but you just lose so much momentum.
Williams, the defensive lineman, takes it 92 yards to the house on you. It's just awful.
And Geno Smith is carrying the Seahawks team. For a guy that has had the career that he has, the fact that he is playing the way he is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And when people say Jordan Poole spins a wheel before every possession of whether he wants to be Michael Jordan or Jordan Crawford, I think Geno Smith does the same thing before every drive because he's either Tom Brady or Mitch Trubisky.
I said it last episode. Geno, we just talked about, when you look at Geno's box score, it's sometimes it's not flashy, but the plays Geno makes, it's like he's just willing his team to a win. He's like, all right, guys, I got us this play. I'm putting us on my back. I'm gonna rush for this 10-yard, this 3rd and 8. I'm gonna rush and get this first down. I'm gonna fire this past the JSN for a first down. The plays he makes sometimes are just like, he's determined. No matter what, we're winning this game. It's going to come down to whether I win or lose us this game. So shout out to Geno, man. And as far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, man, his ass is washed. I'm sorry to say it because he's one of my favorites ever. I loved watching prime Aaron Rodgers, but my goodness, to see him miss Garrett Wilson, then the very next play you throw a pick 6, it's just laughable at this point. It's really bad. And I said they shouldn't have went and got Devontae Adams, and what do you know? What are they since they've gotten him? They've won, 2 games maybe? 1 game?
I mean, this wasn't the issue. They didn't give up anything for him, and he's been solid. Aaron Rodgers just sucks. They were up 21-7 in this game, and he gave it away.
Yeah, and I think Aldrich came out and said there's no plan on making a quarterback change. He said Aaron Rodgers gives them the best chance to win. Did I say Aldrich? Jeff Aldrich? Aldrich. Sorry. But he came out and said Aaron Rodgers gives them the best chance to win, so there's no quarterback change there. So we got to watch Aaron Rodgers the rest of the season.
Kind of cool because the upper management said that they wanted to bench him, and the coach just said, "Fuck you." You don't see that very often.
And I've been seeing conflicting reports for the past week. Aaron Rodgers won't be back with the team. Aaron Rodgers plans to be back with the team next season.
Aaron Rodgers.
The front office doesn't want him back. Aaron Rodgers wants to come back. So We'll see, but season.
Ernest Jones
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
phenomenal for Seattle.
Yeah, he got traded from the Rams this offseason to the Titans. Titans traded him, and and he's such a good player for him to just be bouncing around like that.
He's so good for this run defense that otherwise is just not great. And the Seahawks offensive line is completely abysmal, especially in the run blocking. So Geno just has to be. We've said it all season. Geno has to be perfect for them to win. And the fact that they're 7-5, Geno's not getting enough love.
Absolutely.
That's
Moving on. Excuse me, to the Commanders whooping on the Titans 42-19. The Commanders finally get a win after dropping 3 in a row, move to 8-5. The Titans fall to 3-9. Give me 1 sec. Go ahead while I do something real quick.
Terry McLaurin dominated in this game. He ended up with like 27 fantasy points. Jaden Daniels was phenomenal. He just didn't need to do a lot, but when he was asked to do stuff, he did. This is Washington's first win in December since their first December game in 2021.
Wow.
Which, weird. And on the other side of the field, the Titans are abysmal.
Yeah.
Will Levis and Tony Pollard should be their backfield again to start next season because they've both been serviceable. I think you build around them until you need to upgrade either spot, but like they have so many other issues that they have to fill in. Nick Westbrook-Akine had 2 touchdowns in this game on 3 receptions. He has 20 receptions on the season with 8 touchdowns. Trey McBride has 74 receptions with 0 touchdowns.
Trey McBride doesn't have a touchdown this season?
Nope.
Trey McBride
doesn't
have wow. Really? I had no clue. That's crazy.
But the Commanders finally get back into the win column. Titans better look next
year. They definitely needed it. And what I will say for in this losing streak, their run game, I think they've averaged like 3.3 yards a carry. So it's good to see their run game look good again. What's that?
B-Rob was good.
Oh yeah. B-Rob was good. Chris Rodriguez, Jaden Daniels. He only had 34, but it looked like he had 9 rushes. So it looked like, he was trying to get it going more. They, let him be a runner a little bit more. So it's good to see the running game get back going and them to get back in the win column after a 3-game skid. And yeah, as far as, like you said, with the Titans, I definitely agree. Not that Will Levis and Tony Pollard are just some phenomenal players, but like you said, they have some glaring issues other places. So while you have those two, fix up the rest, and you'll get to that later. But moving on to the Pittsburgh.
I don't like Jeremy McNichols.
All right. Is there a particular reason?
Nope.
All right. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Cincinnati Bengals 44-38. Joe Burrow puts up 38 points, and it's not enough, man. The Steelers improve to 9-3. The Bengals fall to 4-8. It gets to a point. It gets to a point. There was a clip I saw earlier today of Joe Burrow and T. Higgins walking back to the locker room, and they just fist bump each other, heads down, just like, damn. You could just, the energy's like, bro, this is it. Like, this is what we're subjected to this season. It's really awful that Joe Burrow can put up this many points and they don't win. The Bengals played a lot of zone this game, and Russell Wilson picked it apart. He picked it apart with their quick passing game, and what the Arthur Smith has kind of dialed back Russell Wilson with the deep balls. He's trying to gotten Russell Wilson to get into the quick passing game, the quick screen game a lot more. They did a lot of the screen game this past Sunday and the quick passing game, and we know Russell Wilson was a quarterback that's just gonna air it out. So Russell Wilson's done a great job at adjusting to a new style of offense that Arthur Smith has been wanting to run, and for him to just pick apart the Bengals defense in the way he did, find the soft spots in the zone. This is
the Bengals defense sucks.
It's just so
their secondary
so sad
is
to watch.
Ass.
It's so sad to watch that Joe Burrow can do whatever. It doesn't matter what he does, whether he throws for 405 touchdowns. The Bengals are giving up 505 touchdowns. It doesn't matter because this defense is piss poor.
If you put up 38 points on the best team in your division, you should win that game, dude.
Yep.
And the fact that they didn't even ever really have control of this game.
Mm-hmm. I have the stats. Bad. Sorry. Russell Wilson at one point was 22 of 25, 312 yards, and 3 touchdowns against zone against the Bengals this Sunday.
He was great. It's even more sad for the Bengals because they're undoubtedly going to lose T. Higgins this season.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that's why I thought they dapped up because it's like, yeah, I'm out of here. You know, I won't be here next season. But yeah, go ahead.
I think he ends up a Patriot because they have the money to give him and they can allow him to be the receiver one that he wants to be with a young emerging quarterback. Shout out plug, man. Y'all going to get a stud. Did you see the clip of Joe Burrow today?
I just opened TikTok because I thought I saved it. It's right here. I just went to go find it. Go ahead though. Go ahead.
They asked him, they're like, do you think you can still make the playoffs? And like he stutters, he's like,
playoffs. It sounded like the famous clip where it's playoffs. Like he was like playoffs, but I'm not thinking about that. He's like playoffs are the furthest thing on my mind right now, and I love that mentality from him. To be honest,
I'm just trying to go out there every day and be my best self. And he's defeated, dude. He's because he's been so good. And I'm officially putting the nail in their coffin because Joe Burrow, he on the phone, he told me because me and Joe homies, and he said that if we go 10-7, we're in there, and they got their 8th loss. So Joe, I love you, former Buckeye.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
It feels like every week there's a new clip of him at the podium I'm seeing on my timeline. Literally every week. And I go and watch this one and they ask him, "Are you thinking about the playoffs or what's your outlook on the playoffs?" And he's literally playoffs. He says that's the furthest thing on his mind. And I love that like realism. You're not, he's not going to be the jackass up there. You know, we're still shooting for the playoffs. We know we have a chance. We can, no, he was keeping it real. He's just going out there and just doing what he can week by week. And he's doing everything he can, but it's just not enough apparently because this team just refuses to put a competent defense around him. And it really
Pat Freiermuth was huge for me in the numbers on the board league. I started him as my tight end because
the touchdown Russell Wilson was beautiful. Bro, shout out to Russell Wilson, man. Shout out to Russell Wilson.
Incredible. Yep. But Pat Freiermuth, shout out to you. You balled out. George Pickens looked solid. Calvin Austin, prayers up to it. He got fucking rocked. I think he got a concussion and
his
probably won't play next week. Trent Watt is probably the best in the world right now. You have any objections to that?
No, I don't think I do. We talked about Dexter Lawrence being out for the rest of the season. We're probably looking at our defensive play of the year right here.
And as much as I hate to say it because I like him a lot, Joey Porter was absolutely pitiful in this game. He was so bad. He had so many DPIs.
I talked about it with Dark. Yeah, he was bad.
Joe threw it up to Yoshi Voss at one point in this game. Just in the red zone, he throws it up, and it wasn't even close. And Joey Porter just rips him down and gets up and celebrates. And it's like, dude, it's clear that
clearly.
And then I think Joey Porter was 24, and I can't think of who 25 is, but 25 just gets up and looks at him.
Is 25 not Minka? No, Minka's 39. Who is 25?
25 is...
I know, 26 is Dante Jackson.
Deshaun Elliott.
Okay. Former Raven.
And Deshaun Elliott's up and looks at him, it's like, dude, you got to be better.
Yeah, he was piss poor. And I know Steelers just got his jersey, I'm pretty sure, so... But yeah, Steelers.
Deshaun Elliott's jersey?
No. Joey Porter. Yeah. Well, yeah, Steelers do it again. 9-3 now. Looks like they're probably gonna win that division. Ravens are on a bye this week, so if they win next week, that's 2 games up on the Ravens. They still got the Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, and Bengals though, so they still close out pretty tough. But as of right now, they look
very tough,
really good. But we can move on to the Vikings. Your 2 teams right here. Your 2 guys. The Vikings squeaking by the Arizona Cardinals, beating them 23-22. The Vikings improved to 10-2. The Arizona Cardinals, who really needed this win, fall to 6-6. Go ahead.
Before I start, I would like to say shout out to James Conner. He got a 2-year, $19 million contract extension. And I don't know if you've seen the meme, but it's like
anything about that. What the hell? Where was I at?
There's a meme of like a scary monster looking guy, and it's like the Lions 10-1 best season of their franchise, and it's like some goofy drunk guy behind him.
Yep, I know what you mean.
It's like the Vikings 10-2 playing around with Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And I've been saying it for weeks now. The Vikings are not getting enough love because they're 10-2. They're a top 3 team in the national or in the NFC, and
I think them and the Packers are not getting anywhere near enough love. Them and the Packers are balling. But go ahead, continue.
The Cardinals choked big time in this game. Kyler Murray, you let me down. I'm a Vikings fan, but I was rooting for Kyler because I want the Cardinals to win this division, and the Vikings just, as much as I want to see them outdo the Lions, the Vikings didn't need this win. Trey McBride has consecutive games of 12 receptions. He's averaging 100+ yards over his last 3 games. And here's the stat: he has 0 touchdowns on 73 receptions this season.
No clue. I had no clue he had no touchdowns. That is crazy.
This was one of Kyler's most disappointing games of the season, and they've had games where it's like this offense doesn't show up, but Kyler he did show up, and he just ended up pissing down his leg at the end. The Vikings had 11 total rushing attempts in this game. Between 3 different guys, 11 attempts.
Yeah,
and that's insane because I start Aaron Jones in the NOTB league as my flex, and it's like, oh my gosh, I start him and Sam Darnold, and the fact that the Vikings had 6 points at halftime, I was freaking the hell out. Sam Darnold throwing that touchdown to Aaron Jones at the end of the game did so much for me, dude. Not just for the Vikings to win, but I was geeking.
Yeah.
The Cardinals' last 5 games are the Seahawks, Panthers, Patriots, Rams, and Niners. They have to win. In my opinion, they have to win at least 4 of those games to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
4 of the 5.
They got to win 4, and they have to beat the Seahawks. They have to. So you definitely got to win 4 out of those 5. But there are a couple of tough ones in there. What's that?
What do you think about the Cardinals are up 3 and they choose to kick the field goal instead of going for it? Go up 6.
I was talking about this with my brother. He called me and said, "I don't get why teams kick it when you're up 3." Because his rationale was, because if you say, you don't get it, you went for it and you're already up 3.
Let me interrupt. Did you see Greg Olsen explain his thoughts?
No, I didn't.
Okay, go back to yours.
I think it's going to be the same thing, and I agree. I've always thought this too. So you don't get it. You're up 3. You don't get it on 4th down. Okay, the other team gets it. You're up 3. But now the other team, okay, they know a field goal gets it. They'll settle for the field goal. I don't know if this was Greg Olsen's thoughts, but they will settle for the field goal. If you go up 6... If you just kick the field goal, you get it, but you're up 6. Now the other team knows we need a touchdown, so they're gunning for the touchdown no matter what. Exactly. They know it's 4 down territory. If you go for it and you're only up 3, it's not 4 down territory for them. 4th down, they'll just kick the field goal, tie it. We're going overtime. But if you're up 6 when you kick the field goal instead of going for it, the other team needs a touchdown to win it. Field goal does nothing for them, and the extra point wins them the game. So it's 4 down territory for them. They know what they need. They know they need a touchdown no matter what. So now you're playing with your back against the wall. It's like we can't give up this touchdown because we know that's what they're gunning for. Whereas when you're only up 3, it's just, okay, they're gonna get it. They're gonna go for a field goal here. They'll be complacent. They'll settle and just send the game to overtime. My brother called me about that today, and I told him I 100% agree. I don't get why teams do it. I don't get why teams do that either. If you're up 3, I don't understand going for the field goal. It doesn't protect you in the slightest, because now you got the team going for a touchdown when they would have just been going for a field goal if you didn't get it.
That's exactly what Greg Olsen said, and it's weird. Most of the time, I'm not listening to commentary, but
Greg Olsen is really good. Greg Olsen is really good.
He's one of my favorites.
That's why I was kind of upset that they replaced Brady with him. Replaced him with Brady. Yeah, because I like him and Kevin Burkhardt together. I really like them.
Kevin Burkhardt's great too.
Yeah, I love.
What do you think about Romo?
I'm not a huge Romo guy. I don't hate Romo. I know some people hate him. I thought Romo came on. Romo. He came on really strong in his early couple seasons, calling out the plays and stuff like that. But I still think he's fine. I don't mind listening to Tony Romo.
I can't stand Collinsworth.
Man, and I'm never a guy that says commentators hate on a certain team. But my goodness, it felt like he was wearing a fucking Bills jersey on Sunday. Like, fuck, man. Like, jeez, Chris Collinsworth, we get it. We get it. You love that play. You love Amari Cooper tossing it back to Josh Allen. But my goodness, man, back off. Hop off. But I don't hate Chris Collinsworth. I don't mind him. Al Michaels now.
I shouldn't say that.
He needs to hang it up. But
moving on. Rams at Saints.
I want to say, what really lost this game for the Cardinals is they weren't able to punch it in. I think they took 3 field goals inside the 15. I think they took 2. Yeah, they kicked 2 from the 13 and then 1 from the 6. So I think that's really what lost in this game. They weren't able to capitalize in the red zone. But we can move on. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
And he kicked 5 field goals. That's nuts. Rams going to New Orleans.
But this game I don't know what to say about.
A lot of dub. Saints suck. The only thing I would like to say is that the Rams re-enter the NFC West fun. I didn't watch this game.
Yeah, neither did I. I did not care for this game one bit.
Taysom Hill tore his ACL, plus he has additional damage in that knee. He's 35 years old, and it's going to be so hard to recover for him because the way he plays, I don't want to say this is it for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if
tough and like rough. So yeah, I don't know what you mean.
And injuries are just shitty, man. Because he, as much as I hate that he steals touchdowns from Kamara, he's so talented.
Mm-hmm.
And Emmanuel Forbes got claimed today by the Rams.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's brilliant by the Rams, and I think that's amazing for him. This could be great for him. He's been horrible in Washington, but I think if anywhere is going to pull the talent he has out of him, it's going to be the Rams because they have the culture, they have the system, and they're building a young, talented defense with Jared Verse because Jared Verse is one of the best in the league already. And I know I exaggerate sometimes, but fix your camera. Jared Verse is just a monster, dude. And shout out Emmanuel Forbes.
All right.
I'm sorry, Frosty. I think that this is a bad year for y'all. I think next year's only going to be worse.
Damn. Wow. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Panthers on a game-winning field goal, 26-23. The Bucs improved to 6-6, tied with the Falcons for the division lead. The Panthers fall to 3-9. Could have made things a little interesting if they would have won this game in the division. Could have made it a little interesting. But yeah, I know Bryce is your guy, so do your thing.
So we do this podcast together, right? And we talk some on Sundays, like if some important stuff's going on, but we don't talk a lot. Mm-hmm. This game is one where we were texting back and forth, like the whole end of
the
it.
Game, yeah.
And I texted you and I said, "Is McLaughlin going to hit this to send it to overtime?" And he does. And this game is everything that I wanted it to be because phenomenal. Bryce Young looks heroic. He was absolutely phenomenal, and he's out there. He's having fun again. He's throwing touchdowns. He's doing celebrations.
Man,
and he's looking like the number one pick that they chose him to be. He's been. Mm-hmm. Can I say he's been elite these last 2 weeks? Or is that too far?
Too far. For his standard, he's been elite. But he's been very good. He's
been very good. Okay. Baker Mayfield didn't play great this week, but he gets the win. He ties up the Falcons, and I'm hoping that they can they can take this division. I don't know why I struggle so much with that. Mm-hmm. But it was announced today that Baker has a sore leg, so he might not practice this whole week, but he should be okay to play. Mm-hmm. Bucky Irving had 24 carries for 148 yards, phenomenal. 148 rushing yards, 181 total, a rushing touchdown. You texted me at the end and said Rachaad White sucks.
Yeah, and then
Rachaad White immediately told you shut your bitch ass up.
The very next play, 3 seconds later, he took it 38 yards. Yeah, he told me shut the fuck up.
And he only had 11 carries, but he also had 76 yards. I love Rachaad. I almost won my Rachaad White jersey today.
I just don't think he's very good at all. I just don't think he's good. I think Bucky, I don't know why. I think Bucky should be their clear number one. I just don't think Rachaad.
You know what round Bucky Irving was picked in?
No.
Bucky Irving was a 4th round pick. Mm-hmm. There was a punter drafted 3 picks before him. A punter. Bucky Irving. Can you tell me what team picked a punter before Bucky Irving?
Nope.
The Chicago Bears.
That's where Caleb texted him. You won't be needed to punt too much, and the Chicago Bears.
Mike Evans finishes with 8 receptions and 118 yards.
Boy, he's going to get it. He's going to go get it.
Going into this game, he needed 98 yards on average to hit 1,000. He's now sitting at 521, which means he needs 479 in the last 5 weeks. What are they? They're 6-6, so last 5 weeks he needs. Is he gonna hit it? Less than 95 yards a game.
He might hit it. So every week we're gonna come in and update the Mike Evans watch. We're on Mike Evans watch.
Absolutely,
man.
Absolutely.
I'm still gonna refrain from saying he hits it. We'll see. Ask me again after next game.
Book it.
Ask me again after next game. I think and I'll give you a definitive answer. But Bryce was so good, man. The Bucs could not get any pressure on him, and he just stood there, calm, cool, and collected, and made throws. Even when he had to run play action, he was phenomenal. He was very good.
When he took it through the line, running forward and the throw into the end zone to beautiful.
Was beautiful.
Dude,
He was able to escape through lanes, man. He was phenomenal. He was so good. He came in averaging 177 yards, passing yards per game in his 23 career starts. He had 186 in the first half, man. Bryce Young was outstanding.
And
but go ahead.
shout out to Chuba Hubbard because he's been so good this year.
Yeah.
For him to fumble and cost them this game, you hate to see it.
Because the run game wasn't great this past Sunday, but Bryce said, I got us. Bryce was willing his team. He was heroic, like you said. He said, I got us. I'm going to go win this game. And he did everything he could. But yeah, Chuba Hubbard fumbling there was just the Panthers being the Panthers, to be honest.
Greg, if you're watching this, give me a Bryce Young jersey for Christmas. Love you.
Love you, Greg. No clue who Greg is. But
if you see in the comments, his username's Gene. That's Greg.
Oh, that's Greg?
My brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Greg. All right. We can move on unless you got anything else to say about your Panthers.
Nope.
All right. Moving on to what a lot of people
49ers
said.
at the Buffalo Bills.
No. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Moving on to what a lot of people called game of the week coming into week 13. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles beat the Ravens 24-19. The Eagles improved to 10-2. 8 games in a row, I think they've won. The Ravens fall to 8-5, looking like they're definitely gonna have to play in the wild card or be a wild card team. And not win that division. I know the Ravens are your team, so I'll let you rock.
The Cooper DeJean pile drive tackle on Derrick Henry just blew up on social media. I'm sure you saw what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Wait. No, I didn't actually. No.
Derrick Henry catches the pass on the left side, and he's turning around, and Cooper DeJean just absolutely blows him up, and it's a beautiful tackle, but he has all the momentum, and Derrick Henry is pretty much standing still. So as impressive as it is, at the same time, it's not. And Cooper DeJean has been one of the best in the league this year as a rookie.
Yeah.
But I saw Nico. Shout out my boy Nico.
He gets mentions every week. He gets a mention literally every week.
He's my favorite.
Shout out to him. No, I rock with him.
He's my favorite media guy, dude. He just gives so much insight. I think he's incredible, especially for people who don't watch college football.
Yeah, so if you don't watch, hit up our boy Nico. He'll get you. You know.
Like this guy right here.
There you go. Because the other time it was like this guy right here. Go ahead.
You just pointed at me though, so that still made sense. But I saw Nico say that guys who thrive working downhill excel in zone heavy defenses. So he was a match made in heaven the whole time with the Eagles. And football is beautiful to me because you see guys like this who can excel in certain like cultures and schemes and stuff. And culture is big in basketball. You see it with the Heat, you see it with the Rockets. Coaches who can instill a culture is important. But in defense, you can have so many different types of teams, and stuff can still work. Like coaching, you can have a run-heavy team.
Coaching in the NFL matters like nothing else.
And people don't understand that. It doesn't get enough credit. Because in college, you're still molding these young guys into the men they're going to become, and you gotta teach them so much still. And in the NFL, they're who they're going to be unless you're getting a rookie who is raw like a Trayvon Walker. But good coaches are just masterful, dude.
Shout out to Vic Fangio.
And shout out to the fucking Eagles for not doubting him, because the Dolphins are pathetic for the way that they treated Vic Fangio.
Yeah, Vic Fangio came in. He knew he had a system he wanted to run, and the Eagles let him rock and let him do his thing, and it's working wonders now.
And he was an informant for them the year they won the Super Bowl, and he wasn't like technically their DC or anything, and he played the role that Robert Saleh is playing for the Packers right now. And since firing Robert Saleh, I think they're 1-5, and I think that the Packers are 5-1 since picking him up. So
he was never the problem.
He was never the problem. Justin Tucker missed an extra point, a 47-yard field goal, and a 53-yard field goal versus the Eagles in this game. He is now 19 of 27 on the year. And we already talked about him.
His swagger's just off. Because Justin Tucker would be one of those kickers to hit a kick that he's McGregor walking, he's dancing. Now it's just off. He's
got those videos on the plane.
He just hangs his head. Man, his swagger's just off.
and I saw a video, and it was like, this is where it went wrong for Justin Tucker. And you know how he always does his stretches in the
I
other
was
teams.
just about to mention that. That's speaking of Nick Wright,
That
I
damn
saw
Chiefs
him
devil
tweet it.
magic.
Yeah, Travis Kelce chucked his balls, chucked his helmet, and ever since then he's just not been the same. That's some lame ass shit, by the way, Travis Kelce. But go ahead.
Saquon Barkley, I think he's my third favorite running back of all time. I think it's Adrian Peterson, Ezekiel Elliott, and then Saquon Barkley. That's off the top of my head. I don't know for sure. I'd have to, but he's one of my favorite evers. He's currently on pace to break Eric Dickerson's record.
Yeah,
he is on pace for 21-23, and Eric Dickerson's record is 21-05, which was set in 1984. That's insane, and I'm not saying he's going to break it because at this point last year, Tyreek Hill was on pace to break the receiving record, which he ended up doing, so much can go wrong. But I believe if he breaks the record, he is the MVP of this league.
I think even if he doesn't break the record and he just is, you worry whether he's like 1,800, 1,900, I think he still should be the MVP. I think it's at this point, it's him or Josh Allen right now. Should be 1 and 2, Lamar Jackson at 3. But I think Saquon Barkley should be the MVP if the season ended today. He's been so good. And early on, he wasn't really getting it going, but late in that game, he turned it on and closed out the game for the Eagles. He's been so good all year.
And at the end of that game, he had a fumble, and it's like, damn, Saquon, what are you doing? And they recovered it, and he said, fuck y'all, I'm not going. It was like 3rd and 13, and he just broke it and ran so many people over for the first down. And it's different because Saquon is going to play 17 games, and Dickerson only played 16, so it's incredible that it's lasted so long. But Lamar Jackson said that his mother cussed him out after the game for not running more than what he does, and I think that's cool. But last thing before we move on, John Harbaugh says that at this time, I'm going to have to wait. There are moving parts that we're going to have to figure out and explore and just see where we're at. And that is a quote on Deontay Johnson playing 0 snaps last week. There's reports that he might have asked for his release. There's reports that he might not be a Raven anymore.
What they trade for him for? I don't get it. Why did they trade for him? Because at the time, I was like, oh shit, this could be a decent. I don't know if there's something going on in the background, something going on at practice we're not seeing. He's just being lazy, half-assing his way through practice. Something has to be going on because Deontay Johnson can play. He can ball. He could be a very good number 2 to Zay Flowers.
And he was playing great with Andy Dalton, dude.
Yeah, and it's just weird for him to see him playing so well and then coming to the Ravens and just not playing at all. But the Eagles. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
The Eagles kind of followed what the Steelers did. The Steelers played a lot of, we're just going to, if you have a good pass rush, you can have a good day against the Ravens offense because you can just rush 4 and have 7 back in coverage. And that's what the Eagles did all game. They, their defensive line and Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith had a pretty good game. They can just rush 4 and put 7 back in coverage. You can give the Ravens a tough time. And that's back in Lamar's first time in the playoffs, I think it was. He played the Chargers. I know this because my brother's a Ravens fan. And the Chargers put like 8. They took out they subbed out all their linebackers and put all DBs in. They had all DBs in so you could just fly around the field and you could run sideline to sideline. And that's not what these teams have been doing, but it's kind of similar to where you only pressure 4 and have just so many guys back in the secondary to where if Lamar Jackson does escape out of the pocket, someone's there to chase him. If he's passing it, you have a lot of bodies back there to make it tough for him. And you have a great defensive line that doesn't need to blitz, so you can get pressure with your normal four guys, and that makes it tough for Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So that's what the Steelers did, and the Eagles kind of followed that blueprint. So it's good to see that. What else did I had that? Huh?
It's not good to see that.
I guess not for you. And what I will say for the Ravens, the defense has picked it up as of late, but now it's like the offense just is not as good as it was earlier in the season. The defense was the problem. Now the offense. I know you played 2 good defenses, being the Steelers and the Eagles, but now the offense has fell back down to earth a little bit, and now special teams with Justin Tucker missing kicks. Now it's the defense that's the bright spot of the team. So hopefully the Ravens can put things together and get all phases of the offense going. Even if it's not going to be special teams and Justin Tucker's just washed, hopefully the offense and defense can find a nice balance.
I mentioned Saquon being one of my favorites ever because I hate to announce that I have to be a hater the rest of their season. I'm rooting for y'all to fail.
Who?
Because the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
They waived Paris Campbell today.
Moving on. to Sunday Night Football, man.
Hit it.
Waiting all day for a Sunday night. Is that good?
Rate it, y'all. Rate it. Compare it from this week to last week.
Is that just gonna be a weekly thing now for Sunday? Once you get to Sunday night, I'm just gonna have to sing it. But the Buffalo Bills.
It's hilarious because you hear the waiting all day, and then it's once you hit the upper range of the Sunday and the night, you completely cut out. So it's like Sunday night. I tried to tweet it out. I tried to tweet it out before Sunday Night Football started, but my Twitter was bugging on my phone for whatever reason. But
so now you have it for next week. Okay. The Buffalo Bills curb stomp the San Francisco 49ers 35-10. The Bills improved to 10-2. The Niners playoffs hopes get burned. Ball to 5.
Can I ask you what team you're a fan of?
You know,
you're a Chargers fan, right?
I said I'm bolt up and you know all this and that, but I'm going down with the ship, man. I'm still a Niner. I'm going down with the ship. You know, it's come to the point where it's like I'm not that I was like raging and fuming and punching the wall over the losses, but now I've come to the terms that I've just accepted.
Oh, you were crying.
I've just come to terms and I just accepted that we're just not a good football team this year. So it's not like watching this game, I wasn't furious or upset or anything. I was just watching like. You know, now I'm just excited to see what we can do in the offseason.
You got on Fortnite.
Yeah, I got on Fortnite. I'm excited to see what we can do and like the changes we make coming into this offseason because I think this team should be revamped a lot coming in the next season. Whether that's the draft, the guys we decide not to bring back. Like I think Jair Brown shouldn't be back. Charvarius Ward probably won't be back. And before we get too deep, shout out to Trent Williams. Sending prayers your way. Losing, I don't even want to. Man, it just sucks. Him and Charvarius Ward just came back from losing his daughter, and now Trent Williams has to go through something similar. It sucks for that. And then CMC getting put on IR, his season's over. Jordan Mason, it was like in a span of an hour, CMC gets announced his PCL injury is keeping him out for the rest of the season. Jordan Mason's going on IR. He had a high ankle sprain. One of our defensive tackles, Kevin Givens, he's out for the season. I think it was a torn pec. It was just like, man, this just wasn't a season. Just wasn't our season.
Fongo's practice window got opened.
I don't think it matters. I know Drake Greenlaw practice window got open last week. He had 3 weeks to come back to the field, but I don't even think Drake Greenlaw should play. To be honest, you're coming off a torn Achilles. I don't really know if you should even, I mean, I guess you can get some reps under your feet, but I just don't know if it's worth it. But yeah, another disappointing loss for the Niners. James Cook thrashed us. Hey, I've never been a guy to call out Vegas or anything like Vegas is fucking real. They made the fucking call. James Cook murdered us in the first half. He killed us. And then come out second half, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, no fucking James Cook. And I'm on Twitter. I search up James Cook. I'm like, did he get hurt? And I wasn't paying attention. Did something happen? And people are wondering the same thing. Where the fuck was James Cook? Where was he? And I didn't need him because I bet on him. I needed him for fucking fantasy. This is the same league where I needed David Njoku to have a decent game. So that I wouldn't have needed David Njoku if James Cook just continued playing. Like he killed us in the first half and just came out the second half and just didn't play. Got maybe 3 more snaps in the second half. But Josh Allen killed us. Their run game killed us. They had 5 guys average over 5.5 yards a carry. Ty Johnson averaged 5.6. Ray Davis averaged 5.7. And James Cook averaged 7.6 with a long of 65. They killed us on the ground. We were just slipping and sliding out there. We couldn't run full speed. We couldn't catch anybody. We couldn't tackle anything. We fumbled like 4 times. I think 3 times. Kyle Juszczyk had one in the red zone on like the 2-yard line. That could have changed the game if he scores right there. I said it when it happened. We had Jordan Mason who was playing damn well. He led us down the field, and then we give it to Kyle Juszczyk to punch it in when we had Kyle Shanahan. But whatever. Deebo Samuel has a couple of good returns, then he fumbles it. Brock Purdy goes to throw one, slips out of his hand. I will say, for as much of a Brock Purdy defender as I am, if he wants to be a franchise guy, you have to be able to play in the elements. You have to. I mentioned it
He was
last week.
terrible.
I said it was going to be a rough game for Brock Purdy because last season when he played the Browns, that was one of his worst games of the season, our first loss of the season, where he threw his first interception of the season because it was raining and the ball was slipping out of his hands. I literally mentioned it on Friday's episode, and what do you know? He goes for a pass on Sunday, the ball flies right out of his hands. He just cannot play in the elements. He cannot play if it's raining or snowing. So if he wants to be our franchise guy, you got to get that together, Brock. Please. And I'm not a guy that says fire Kyle Shanahan because the grass isn't always greener. But man, for Christian McCaffrey to get hurt and for Jordan Mason to immediately come in and look as good as he did, granted he did get hurt, for him to come in and have 13 carries for 78 yards, 6 yards a carry, a long of 28, for him to come in immediately and look that good, why the fuck was he not getting carries even though CMC was back? I said it the day CMC came back. Jordan Mason should still be getting carries. This should be a split backfield. Do not put the workload all on CMC. And what do you know? CMC gets hurt and Jordan Mason didn't miss a beat. Looks like the same guy he was earlier in the season. But CMC comes back. It's he gets all the workload. Isaac Arendo, Jordan Mason, you guys are pushed to the side. You guys can get one carry between the two of you guys every week. It's Kyle Shanahan is such a great offensive mind, but his personnel sometimes, his personnel decisions is just awful. It's just awful at times. And Deebo Samuel, man,
go ahead.
We'll be seeing you.
What do you mean?
This should be his last season with the team. Should be his last season with the team. He should not play another snap for this team after this year. But Kyle Shanahan loves him way too much. But if you
nobody else is going to pay him that contract.
If you got anything else you want to say, go ahead. Fred Warner, you said you've been playing with a dislocated ankle, fractured ankle since week 4. This team is not worth it. Sit out, please. It's just there's no point in playing. Go ahead.
Hey, how do they get away with not announcing stuff like that?
I don't get it. And for the Niners to have the injury history you've had players come out after they leave and say things like Jerick McKinnon was with us and he was nonstop hurt. And he came out, he when he left and went to the Chiefs, he said things about our injuries and shit like that. So I can't blame the players at this point when you're not announcing things like that. And for CMC to make it seem like earlier in the season he would be back sooner rather than later, then he's out till week 11. Jordan Mason said, Kyle Shanahan came to the podium and said, Jordan Mason, oh yeah, we told Jordan Mason right before the game. Then Jordan Mason has a great game. He's getting interviewed, and now he looks like a jackass, but because he says, oh yeah, Kyle Shanahan told me like 2 weeks ago I was starting. So now Kyle Shanahan was lying. He knew Christian McCaffrey's injury was worse than it was, but he just didn't tell the media. So I don't know. The Niners continuously do shit like that.
On the other side of the field, Buffalo Bills still played. It wasn't just the Niners.
I mentioned them.
Josh Allen, I hate you.
He's a baller.
How does one guy get on Friday night, he gets to propose to Haley Steinfeld, who I've mentioned several times throughout this podcast. He's just so fine. On Sunday, he gets to throw a touchdown pass, he gets to catch a touchdown pass, and he gets to run for a touchdown pass. He's in contention for MVP. He's one of the best teams in the league. He's not an ugly guy like Josh Allen. Pick a flaw, dude. Damn. And then at the same time, Haley Steinfeld, you're an actor, you're a singer, you're in Spider-Man. You got successful ass couple, man. I hate both of you, but The Bills kicked a field goal at the start of this game, and then the fan tried to throw a snowball at it to block it. If that would have hit, it might have been the greatest clip of all time. I love stuff like that, dude.
And this game started decent, bro. I thought we was gonna have a chance.
The Bills clinched the division with 5 weeks left.
I said this. I said a few weeks back the Bills are going to clinch early and they're going to have nothing to play for. But it's a good thing they beat the Chiefs, so now you can play for the 1 seed. Because if they would have lost to the Chiefs, boy, you could have just fucking rested your starters. You're not getting the 1 seed and you're already clinched to the division. So I'm glad that they beat the Chiefs so they have something to play for. You think they catch the Chiefs for the 1 seed?
Oh, I hope so.
Okay.
They've scored 30 or more in 6 straight games. 6 straight games. And people are on Stephon Diggs' ass now because when he was requesting the trade and everything, it was like Josh Allen doesn't need Stephon Diggs as much as the world thinks.
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs replied and was like, "Are you sure?" And now people are like, "Yeah, we're pretty sure, Stephon." Which, going back to stuff like that's cringe to me, but whatever. Shout out to the Bills, man. top 2 in the AFC, top 4 in the NFL.
Yeah, man. Yeah. If I had to pick my dream Super Bowl scenario at this point, I think I may go Bills and Eagles. I think that's maybe the best Super Bowl matchup we can get right now. Thoughts?
I'm going the purple people eaters, both sides.
And oh, okay. Both sides is crazy. But moving on to Monday Night Football, a treat that we got on Monday Night Football. The Broncos moved to 8-5 by beating the Browns 41-32. Both quarterbacks play fairly well. One has a career night, but it wasn't enough. Go ahead, man.
The fact that Jameis Winston has played 5 games, moronic. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
It sucks that he had a season-ending injury for himself. Mm-hmm. I don't like the guy, but the fact that they started him for so long, seeing how shit he was when the Browns have so much talent on this roster, it just infuriates me. So Kevin Stefanski needs to string some wins together. I said it last episode for him to save his job, and he almost did it this week. They could have pulled this one out. Well, this final score was what, 34-32?
41-32.
It was 34-32. Browns had the ball driving, and Jameis throws the interception to seal their loss. Yeah. He throws a pick six, and then they get the ball back, and he throws another one. I wish he wouldn't have thrown the other one. His stats look so good. Now it looks
bad because he threw the other one, yeah.
He had 3 picks, and Jerry Jeudy showed his ass.
See, boy, he was getting booed, and he told him, "Come on, give it to me," and he just
every part of his ass he was showing it, and going into the game, it was like, how do you feel playing against your former team? And he didn't shy from it. He was like, we want to kick their ass. I want to show that who I am and what I can do. And this was the Browns' 4th game with a lead in the 4th quarter. 4th.
Yeah, I saw
the first 3 they all won.
Yep.
And Levi Wallace was playing for Riley Moss in this game. Riley Moss has been great, but he was hurt this game. He couldn't play, and Levi Wallace was just getting cooked every single play by Jerry Jeudy. And I feel bad for him because it was single coverage a lot of the game, and he just couldn't do anything about it. And he gets benched for Chris Abrams-Draine, or however the hell you would say his name. And he comes in and makes a good play, but it's like they're not playing single coverage now. Levi Wallace, you just got screwed. And Chris Abrams-Draine, I don't know how the fuck you say his name, but he ended up getting torched too. Elijah Moore balled, David Njoku balled. Jerry Jeudy
Njoku had a couple drops, but continue.
Say his name again.
David Njoku.
And you're surprised? He drops the ball all the time.
Sorry.
But when Jameis threw that pick six to Elijah Moore, it was single coverage by the Broncos. He just threw it behind Elijah Moore and
Jameis, he knew it. He knew it when he threw it, and they showed the shot of Kevin Stefanski.
You saw his face.
Yeah, he knew it too. Yeah.
You saw Jameis's face
when he threw it.
Yeah, he looked heartbroken.
Yeah,
dude.
He looked
so sad with himself.
Yeah,
it broke my heart
because he was playing so well, and Troy Aikman said it. You saw what Jameis is. He gives you the highest of highs, but then there's always gonna be those couple of plays where it's like, damn. He's like, you saw the effect of Jameis Winston in this game to a T. Nearly 500 yards. I'm not nearly 500.
They had
yards,
no run game.
Pick six to end it. Now, man, Nick Chubb has been a shell of himself. He has not been efficient all season. Like ever since he's been back, he has not been efficient. Hopefully he can get back to himself next season, but it doesn't look like he has his legs under him this season. He's getting back into football. But he has not looked good. But shout out to Jameis. He did everything he could. But as far as the Broncos, Bo Nix wasn't his best game, but I think he played fairly well for it being his Monday night debut. They talked about it a million times in the post game, but he played. You saw that he played fairly well. Him and Cortland Sutton still have that connection going. Bo Nix has been able to step up in the pocket and make throws. He's been trusted, and Troy Aikman talked about it as well, that he needs to trust his offensive line a lot more, stand tall in the pocket and make plays, and I think he did that a lot at times in this game as well.
I will no longer be hating on Bo Nix.
Thank you.
His post-game interview, it took the last string of hate that I had for him out of the game because he talks about Jameis. He was saying that they grew up in the same city. Yep. he idolized Jameis. He's got a lot of love for Jameis, and he was just talking to him. For the amount of hate that I had for Bo Nix coming into the draft, I thought he was a bum. I thought he was going to be terrible. I thought the Broncos were going to be the worst team in the NFL. And he's just made me look like a buffoon, dude.
Yeah.
He's been so good. He seems like a good fella. The three quarterbacks hang out with each other on Thursday nights. Their girlfriends getting TikToks of them.
Yeah.
Him and Cortland Sutton are just having an amazing duo together.
Yeah, they talked about him and Cortland Sutton. He went to Cortland Sutton after he had 0 targets, 0 catches. They talked about it. He went to Cortland Sutton after the game, and he said, "Hey, if I ever don't target you, fuck up, let alone in a game, if I don't target you in a half, you come to me and tell me, get me the fucking ball." He went to Cortland Sutton and said that, and ever since then, Cortland Sutton's been playing his ass off.
Yep. It's beautiful, man. I still don't like the Broncos, but Bo Nix,
I love
Cortland
the Broncos. I love them, man. I like those jerseys they had on today with the white helmets too.
Bro, they looked like the Chargers.
Oh my gosh, yes, bro, yes. There's so many times I looked at this game and I was like, wait, what the fuck? But I'm like, oh shit, it's their jerseys. Bro, I thought I was tripping. Because even then, I would like put my phone in my pocket and just be listening to the game. I'm like, oh shit, let me go see what the Chargers are doing. No bullshit. I'm like, let me go see what the Chargers are doing. They're like, holy fuck, it's the Broncos. I'm so glad you said that. Those jerseys look just like those dark blue jerseys the Chargers wear, just like them.
And I can say the only reason I dislike the Broncos is because it's my mother's favorite team, and my whole life has just been. It's been like a little hate.
I got a little. Yeah. I know what you mean. But yeah, Jaleel McLaughlin got going late, and early on it was a lot of Bo Nix in this game, and he, even when he didn't have a run game, he showed out. But then, like I said, McLaughlin got going late, and they were able to close this one out. Go ahead, though. I don't got much else to say.
I don't got anything else to say. We can move on to our preview for Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
We got Green Bay at Detroit, one of the best Thursday Night Football games of the year.
Absolutely.
In division rivalry, Jordan Love has been phenomenal this season. The Lions are debatably the best team in football.
Yeah.
If it was in Green Bay, I would probably pick the Packers, but I don't think the Lions lose this one at home. So
I wanted to find a reason to pick the Packers, but the Lions have just been so damn good, and like you said, it's in Detroit that I'm gonna lean the Lions as well. I agree. If it was in Green Bay, I'd probably take the Packers as well, because they've been playing some phenomenal football as of late. Josh Jacobs has been good. Jordan Love hasn't been turning the ball over. He's been playing clean football. But what the Lions doing over there, I think is just second to none at this point. The two running backs back there, Jared Goff has been doing his thing. He threw 5 interceptions, then came back at you with 4 touchdowns. He's been playing great this season. I already mentioned the two running backs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Their defense has still been very good, even losing Hutch. So I'm gonna take the Lions as well on Thursday.
All right.
Your quarterbacks. We can't forget.
Holy shit!
Cannot forget your quarterbacks.
I wanted to find a way to put Russell Wilson top 10, but I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. He can get an honorable mention.
I have him at 11 and Kyler Murray at 12.
Kyler fell out because he was on the list, right? He fell out. I think we did say Kyler, you gotta, show us something this week, because you can't be, eating the cookies or pizza. And he, folded at the end there, blew that game. So, okay, go ahead, though.
My top 10 quarterbacks of the season. This is just what they've done so far this season. Mm-hmm. It's got nothing to do with the future or the past. It's just this season.
And as I always say, if you're watching this on TikTok, or even if you're watching this on the channel itself, post your top 10 list. Don't just say you hate the list or it sucks. Post your list. And remember, it's just based on this season. So, put your list in the comments as well.
At number 10, I have Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm. I like it a lot. We already mentioned it earlier. He just wills the Seahawks to wins. He just backpacks them, and he just determined no matter what, he just goes out and gets it.
And I had him on there when we first started doing these, and he fell out for a while. But
yeah, and then I remember saying, like, after, because you had him on the list, then he had a bad game, then people went back to it and started clowning you on it. I'm like, that's just some whole shit to go back to it after he has a bad game. But I'm good. I'm happy to see Geno back on the list.
Number 9, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, man. He didn't have a phenomenal game this Sunday, but he didn't need to do anything. But I think these next few weeks, Justin Herbert will I don't think he's going to stay here, because they're gonna need him to play phenomenal, and if he doesn't, he should be
Yep.
falling lower. So I think he'll have some movement in these next few weeks.
Number 8, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I like it. Sam Darnold, like I said last week, had that bad stretch, but he's been playing some good, very good ball,
Great.
like he has in the beginning part of the season. But you're not getting those MVP talks anymore for some reason, even though his team is 10-2. But yeah, shout out to Sam Darnold.
Can you guess number 7?
He's been number 7 for 18 weeks. Patrick Mahomes.
At number 7, I have Patrick Mahomes, and I might as well change his number to 7 at this point. At number 6, I have Jared Goff.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it.
And he was top 5 last week, but I think Jaden Daniels cracks back in. And at number 5, I have Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, because it's not like he was terrible those in that losing streak. He just wasn't what he was, and to see him play as well as he did this past weekend, I like to see him move up here.
And low key, he could have gone back to 4 because Baker was bad this week. But at number 4, I have Baker Mayfield.
Baker wasn't great, but I think he did enough. I think to keep his spot. I think I would have kept him there as well. I think he'll continue to be like Baker we saw earlier in the season, but I like this for Baker.
So we get to the top 3, and I thought really hard about it, dude, because
I think there should be a change in the top 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Josh Allen could be 1. Josh Allen could be 2.
I think that's
Josh Allen could be 3.
I think the change is Josh Allen should be number 1. I think Josh Allen is the MVP of the league. Him and Saquon Barkley right now. What he's been doing week in and week out just spanked us on Sunday Night Football. I think Josh Allen should be number 1.
At number 3, we have Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I think as much as I defend Joe Burrow, at some point it's like, fuck, I'm sorry, bro. You just keep losing. You can't be 1 or 2 when these guys are, 8-5, 10-2. I just can't put you above them when, they just keep on winning and you're going in the opposite direction. Shout out to you, Joe Burrow. It's not your fault,
man.
Like it's literally not your fault. You're doing everything and then some. Like I said, if Joe Burrow had a winning record, he'd be my MVP. You said Joe called you. 10 wins gets me in. If he would have got those 10 wins and got in, he would have been my MVP. But he's not getting there.
And Josh, I know we talk every Wednesday, so I'm gonna have to apologize to you. I can't put you at number 1 yet. If Lamar has another low week, he's still currently my number 2. I think Saquon's MVP, but quarterback wise, I would have Lamar number 1. At number 2, I have Josh Allen.
Yeah. I talked about it just a couple seconds ago. I think Lamar should be number 2 and Josh Allen should be number 1, but I don't hate you for this because it could be a little bit of recency bias as well. Lamar hasn't had his 2 best games, but Josh Allen has some poor games as well, like against the Texans, against the Ravens where they blew him out. So I don't hate this. I don't hate Josh Allen being 2.
Josh Allen also has more games where he just wasn't needed, and Lamar Jackson hasn't had very many of those. Mm-hmm. So at number 1, I still do have Lamar Jackson, but there's definitely a world where he could fall to number 2 next week.
Yeah. That's fair. I like this. Like Lamar, you're this much ahead. You're holding on by this much above Josh Allen.
Yep.
But I think that's where we wrap up. I think this might be our longest one yet. The recording is at 1:49, but there's probably a little bit of shit I got to cut out in the beginning. But no WWE.
We're not gonna do it. No WWE talk. We'll get into Survivor Series and everything on Friday's episode. It's just we don't want to make this a 3-hour episode.
Yeah, it was a solid pay-per-view, but we'll talk about it another time. We appreciate you guys watching. Show some love on the TikToks, on the YouTube Shorts. Show some love here. Send this to a friend. We're at 60. Let's get to 70 now. Hopefully we can get to 70 before the playoffs start. We'll see you guys on Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, comment, and sub. And
love y'all.